Welcome to the F-16 ground egress video. In this program, we'll familiarize F-16 maintenance members with safe canopy operation procedures, proper aircraft boarding procedures, and location of the emergency escape controls and safety devices. Let's proceed onto the aircraft, where you'll use your technical orders and review the aircraft forms ensuring it's safe for maintenance. Once all of your external checks and safety procedures are out of the way, proceed with the actual canopy operation. There is a warning associated with the F-16 canopy regarding the actuator failing during opening. It's possible that it could fall, resulting in personal injury or damage. In addition, if winds exceed 30 knots, open the canopy just enough to enter or exit as required. Otherwise, double-check the canopy is closed and secure in order to avoid damage. Make certain you clear the sill of any foreign objects which might result in damage when you open or close the canopy. Also check to see that the canopy lock handle is in the full up and unlocked position prior to closing the canopy. Typically, the canopy is opened with the external canopy switch located on the forward left-hand side of the aircraft just underneath the gun in the access door. Hold the canopy operation switch in the up position. Note, there is a slight 3 to 5 second delay before you see any canopy movement. Once fully opened, it'll automatically shut off. Don't release the switch until the canopy is opened fully unless there's an emergency. Now, close the access door and the operation is complete. If for some reason the electrical mode doesn't function, there is an external manual canopy operation. But be aware the flexible drive cable is rather fragile and easily damaged, so use caution. You'll find it located outside, just below the left-hand canopy sill. Manually operated by inserting a 3/8" drive speed handle with a universal attached into the canopy external manual flex drive. Rotate it until the canopy is fully opened, or in the case of lowering, fully closed. Maintain positive pressure and control of the tool at all times. When you reach the end of the canopy movement, it locks into position. Let's turn our attention to the boarding ladder. Place the ladder on the canopy sill. When doing this, make certain it's properly attached with the index pin protruding through the hole on the sill. Ensure the ladder properly lines up on the airframe support. As you position the ladder, maneuver it in such a way as to avoid striking any internal cockpit throttles. Once attached, make sure it's properly situated prior to applying any body weight. Prior to entering, you first ascertain the recovery sequencer is unfired. You can tell it's safe by the absence of a red pin protruding through a white disc. On the other hand, if you see a red pin protruding through the white disc, stop. Immediately clear the area and don't let anyone else near. Have MOC notify Egress immediately. Wait at least 2 hours before performing any maintenance. This red pin indicates Egress electrical circuits are charged and ready for activation. Most of the ejection seat's explosives are fired by electrical impulses from the sequencer. If on the other hand it's safe, then inspect the ejection seat itself. Look at the ejection control safety lever. It must be in the up position with the safety pin installed. Ensure it's installed in the correct hole and not inadvertently put in the wrong hole. In addition, make certain the rivet is present in the ejection control safety lever pivot point. If it's missing, notify the expediter to contact Egress personnel. Then look at the emergency manual chute release handle. Is it safed with the pin installed facing forward? Now check that the internal canopy jettison handle is safely secured. Make sure the safety pin ball lock mechanism protrudes through the handle and the console frame. Remember, as you install or remove this pin, push the safety pin button, releasing the ball lock mechanism. This avoids both damage to the aircraft and the pin. Ensure the canopy lock handle is in the unlocked position. Just remember, any and all safety inspections are accomplished prior to entering the cockpit. I'd like to emphasize there is a proper way to enter without injury to yourself or any equipment. This takes into account the numerous sharp edges which are present, so be careful. Here are some other tips which help avoid extra work for you and Egress personnel. Your best handholds for entering the cockpit are the canopy sill and ejection seat rail. Slowly enter the cockpit paying special attention to where you place your feet. Many a mechanic has accidentally knocked off a button, knob, switch, or other small protruding item while entering or exiting. This causes extra downtime for the aircraft and plenty of searching for lost pieces of FOD. To facilitate entering the cockpit, sit at the top of the boarding ladder, placing your hands on the left and right sill sides. Then balance yourself over the seat while placing your feet into the rudder wells. Don't use the seat as a step to enter or exit the cockpit. Here are some further actions to avoid. Don't grasp the ejection seat pitot tubes for any reason. A bent pitot tube could mean the difference between life and death for a pilot. Make sure you avoid grabbing the helmet-mounted cueing system, if installed, directly behind and to the left of the seat. Additionally, don't grab the top of the seat where the parachute is tied under the flap. You might inadvertently deploy the pilot chute. Furthermore, don't extend a single inertia reel strap by itself. The straps are on a single spool. If only one is extended alone, it'll likely jam the inertia reel. Never leave the lap belts or survival kit belts hanging over the side of the seat. When the seat is lowered, they can easily get caught between the console and seat, cracking or breaking the seat side cap. This causes anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks downtime for seat repairs. Additionally, be careful to avoid kicking or stepping on the emergency oxygen ring, also known as the green ring. This could break the ring or even release the oxygen. When in and around the cockpit, pay attention to the following items. Place the lap belts and survival kit belts neatly in the seat pan. Place the parachute risers, more commonly known as the shoulder harness, side by side, being careful not to damage the UWARS assembly. These units automatically separate the pilot from the parachute when immersed in water. Also avoid the D-ring as you step into or out of the cockpit. If for some reason you need to lower the canopy from inside, make certain you have the ladder removed as you check for any foreign objects on the sill or glare shield which might interfere with the canopy closing operation. Reach for the internal canopy switch located just under the left forward console. Simply hold the switch down to close the canopy. Note that there is a 3 to 5 second delay before the canopy moves, but continue holding until the canopy is down, closed, and locked. Holding the switch up opens the canopy until it reaches the desired position. After the operation is complete, the spring-loaded switch moves back to the center off position. At this time, we'll turn our discussion to emergency ground egress procedures. When you're inside the cockpit, first unlock the manual canopy lock handle located directly to your left, forward, and under the sill. Simply pull the handle up in order to release the canopy manual lock. This disengages the canopy so you can electrically raise the canopy, allowing you to exit. If you're unable to electrically open the canopy from inside, you have the option of internally opening the canopy using the internal canopy drive located below the left-hand sill. Push it in and turn counterclockwise until the canopy is fully opened. This operation may take several minutes to complete, so if this is a life or death situation, there is an option to explosively jettison the canopy. Remove the safety pin and pull the yellow and black handle labeled Canopy Jettison. It's located under the left canopy sill and explosively jettisons the canopy, allowing you to exit the cockpit. In addition, there is an external canopy jettison handle outside the aircraft on the right and left sides directly under the seat. They're located underneath access panels labeled Rescue. Depress the access panel buttons to open and reveal the handle. They are D-rings which extend out 6 to 8 feet before firing. Simply grab the handle and run in order to fire the mechanism. The canopy explosively departs the aircraft frame in a rearward and slightly left direction. But make sure everyone is aware that it might go in most any direction and be cognizant of where it is during an emergency ejection. A person weighing 180 pounds would be propelled 380 feet into the air within 1.8 seconds. So be aware of the location and dangers inherent in utilizing this system. But remember, using either the internal jettison or the external handles should be used only when a bona fide ground emergency arises and life and limb are endangered. This completes our emergency ground egress review. After you exit the cockpit, you still need to close the canopy. But before closing it, Check the canopy sill and glare shield for any foreign objects. Remove the ladder, and finally make sure all personnel are clear of the sill. Hold the external canopy switch in the down position until the canopy is fully closed and locked. Once in the locked position, it automatically shuts off. As a closing reminder, I'd like you to check that all the safety pins are properly installed prior to cockpit entry, and by all means, check the recovery sequencer, making certain it's safe with no red pin protruding through the disc. With this, our review of normal and emergency canopy operation, cockpit safing, and cockpit entry is complete. We want to thank you for your attention regarding these very important procedures. I hope you feel more confident regarding the Egress system. If you use this information properly, you'll enjoy a much safer work environment. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask your instructor or supervisor.